everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a video on highlighters. So we're going to start off a little mini series here on my channel talking about highlighters. As most of us know who love beauty products and are in the beauty industry know that highlighters have been all the rage the past couple months, whether that be cream, powder, primers, illuminating foundations, whatever that may be. Highlighters are the craze. Everyone wants that beautiful glow to their skin. I'm going to start off with a little series going through stick highlighters, powder highlights, and then cream highlighters. So first off, we're going to start with stick highlighters today. It's the smallest section of the bunch, moving on to powders, and then moving into cream. While I'm filming the video, I'm going to talk about what I like most about the product, what I don't like about the product, the price point of the product, and at the very end, I'll recommend my absolute favorite out of the ones that I show you. I also understand there's a ton of highlighters on the market. These are just the ones that I currently have. I do find that the ones I'm going to show you guys are a variety, so it touches on all aspects of the highlighters, not just one color, one form, but all of them in a wide range. So starting off with the stick forms, if you want to see the 3 stick formula highlighters that I do have in front of me here, and then I will review for you guys, then go ahead and keep on watching. So starting with the most affordable highlighter out of the bunch, I have the Clinique. This is the Chubby Stick Sculpting Highlighter. So like I said, these are all stick formulas, but they all offer something different. So with this Clinique one here, it is the most affordable out of the bunch, like I said, so it is $26. With this highlighter here, it is a very pink tone. For someone who's very fair, this is a great one to use, just because it will blend in very easily. You won't have a line of highlighter, as well as you'll find that it isn't super heavy. So the downfall to this highlighter is that I find that it's a little bit chalky. So for reference, I would say never to use a cream highlight after you put on powder, because it will remove that foundation and that powder completely. So with all of these cream highlighting sticks, I do go in on top of foundation without any powder, just because it lays the best, doesn't remove any product, and it really blends out seamlessly on top of a foundation. So that is the recommendation for all of the cream highlighters, whether it be a stick form, in a pot, whatever it may be. Cream highlighters cannot be used on top of powder. Like I said, this one is a little bit chalky. I find when I put it on, it removes my foundation a little bit more than the rest of them when I'm blending it out. You can still absolutely use it and put a powder highlight on top of it, because you should be setting your cream highlighters with a powder anyways. So it is on this side of my face today. I did lay down the cream highlight a little bit above my brow and then on top of my cheekbone. I did set it with a powder highlighter as well, so I always want to set my creams with something. With that being said, this is something that I'd really recommend for someone who's fair. It would not work on a medium to dark skin tone, just because it is so pink, as well as it's very light, so you would have a really white cast on the skin tone if you use something like this. You'll kind of see in the swatch there that it's beautiful, but it does blend out differently when you're putting it on your hand opposed to on your face. So just keep that in mind when you are in the store and you're swatching it on your hand, that it blends out really nicely on a smooth surface. But when you have large pores, for example, or you have any blemishes, oiliness, dry patches on the skin, it does catch on those areas. And that goes for all cream highlighters, especially this one here. So it's a little bit more chalky, a little bit more dry. But if you have normal to oily skin, this should work great. If you have dry skin, it may catch on to those patches quite often. So moving on to the medium price range is the Smashbox highlighting stick. So this one is called the Hollywood and Highlight. This is the best one for universal skin tone. So it will match for someone who's darker, more medium skin tone, olive, all of those, as well as someone who's very fair. You can blend it out, you can pack it on, and it doesn't get too sticky, too heavy, but it's still easy to blend out. Universal for everyone. It is a $36 price point, so it jumps up $10 from the Clinique one. But this one is more of a neutral highlighting stick. So it isn't something that's super pink. It's not something that's super bronzed. It's in the middle. So it's a neutral highlight that works for almost every skin tone. As well as I find with this one, it goes on so creamy. You can kind of see there that it's more of like a medium highlight, but it blends out so nicely. Another benefit to this product is the little application sponge at the end. So I love this sponge. I find that when you have that product on, sometimes your fingers warm it up too much, so then it takes some of it off. So when you use a sponge like this, you can kind of dab it in and you achieve the illusion of more of a glow without having that stark line of the highlighter. So I really like this sponge at the end. A huge benefit of this product. Cliniques does not have that. For $10 less, you could use your finger. And the next option does have a sponge, but I don't love the sponge as much. So this is definitely a great recommendation. Just an FYI, when looking for this one, so it is, I did order mine all from Sephora, all these highlighters, but when looking for this, it's with the cream blush stick. So I had a hard time finding it, and then all of a sudden I found it in the cream blush stick. So that's where it is located. And this again is the Smashbox one. So the next highlighting stick that I do have for you is the most expensive one, but also the most well-known. So it is the Benefit What's Up highlighter. This one is $39. I do find with this one that me being so fair and not tanned all the time, that it is quite dark. So it is a very bronzed highlighting stick. It is one that I would not recommend for someone who's very fair. It's better suited for someone who always has a self-tanner on or has more of that olive dark complexion. Just because when you do put it on fair skin, you can really see it. I did use this one on my nose and my Cupid's bow today. And I used this guy here on this side of my face. So again, above my eyebrow and a little bit on my cheekbone. And I did set all of them again with a powder highlighter. With using a cream highlighter, it kind of lays as a base for the powder highlight, because then you can pack on as much highlight as you want. It's kind of like an eye primer. When you put on eyeshadow, it kind of gives a more of an opaque finish, as well as it helps keep the product on longer and packs it on. So a cream highlighter is something that does get overlaid with a powder product, but you do get more of that glow on your skin, and then it makes it stay a lot longer as well. So the What's Up, again, I find is very bronzed. When you take off the cap here, this is the product. You have to take off this little tiny tab because it makes it keep the product not as dry. So this one is $39, so the most expensive out of the bunch. And you can kind of see here on someone who's very fair, you can really see that stark brown highlight. And I found when I am really fair, you have to really blend it out. And sometimes you move the foundation too much, or you move the product right off your face because you blend it out so much not to have a line and not to see discoloration of exactly where you put the highlight. So it is something that I can only use when I'm on the more bronze side, but if you are bronze, this is definitely a good option. One last thing about the What's Up highlighter is that it's a little bit thicker of a formula. So I do find, like, when I'm blending it out, it's a little bit thicker and tacky than the Smashbox and the Clinique one. Those ones are a little bit more powdery, dry a little bit quicker. This one is quite tacky and heavy. So you couldn't do a few layers of this one. One layer would probably be enough before it would come too heavy. But it is, again, a great option, something that's really well known. And one last downfall is the little sponge applicator. As you can see, there's one at the end of this one, but it is not similar to the Smashbox one. The Smashbox one kind of reminds me of like the Beauty Blender sponge because it's dense, but still applies the product really well. This one's kind of like a throwaway sponge. You know those little square or little triangle ones that you use when you were younger, or there was no such thing as a beauty blender, something like that? That's what this reminds me of. It could possibly work the best when it's wet, but I'm not going to run to the sink and wet an end of a tiny little highlighter. So again, this is for someone who is more of a darker complexion because it doesn't work for such fair skin, but again, applies beautifully. And if you are laying this down first and then going in with a powder highlight, you can kind of counteract any of that bronzeness if your powder highlighter is very light in color. So you could use this in conjunction with a very light highlighter. But overall, my favorite highlighter out of the bunch is definitely the Smashbox one. It is a surprise for me because I don't have a lot of Smashbox products, but they really did do well with this product. I find it super universal. They don't have a wide range either, just because this one does work for so many people and so many complexions. So This is definitely my favorite. Again, it's $36 and it is purchased from Sephora. I'm sure you can get it from many other places, but that is where I purchased mine. So that is my highlighting stick video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you're going to enjoy this little series. If you did like it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.